What's up, everybody? This is Trip.
And I'm Jim.
And this is Dead Center, where we try to conversate, not constant hate.
Get to the point.
And today's point, Roger Stone in this episode.
Oh no, busted, drinking Russian vodka. Mueller, arrest me.
Yeah.
Libtard.
Yeah, he's...
God.
I love him on InfoWars. I swear, if you don't ever watch InfoWars, you're missing out on some of the great unintentional comedy of our century.
Just make sure you
don't take it seriously, but watch it. It's hilarious.
Don't leave your thinking cap on.
No.
Like, you need to take that shit and make sure it doesn't get absorbed.
You will burn your thinking cap out if you leave it on and go watch InfoWars.
It might just shut itself off.
But there are people that will follow the line because look, if you stare at anything too long, you can draw a conspiracy line.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so if you go and watch InfoWars without thinking these people are hilarious and this is just a shtick, then you will become a fan. With that being said, Roger Stone worked for Nixon during the Watergate trials. Roger Stone worked for Reagan. Roger Stone was a friend of Donald Trump. They've been friends for BFFs forever. And apparently during the Trump campaign, he was in contact with WikiLeaks through Twitter, and he was corresponding with a Trump administration or a Trump campaign official to offer up these Hillary Clinton emails so that Trump would know about it beforehand. Some of the text messages he says are taken out of context, but in the text message he tells them to pull a Godfather move. I can't remember the guy's name, but it was in Godfather Part 2 where the guy was going to testify, and then they got the guy from Italy there, and the guy just completely acted like he never knew what was going on. He said it was supposed to be funny. Take it how you want, I guess, but there was lies about who he was corresponding with. There was lies about what exactly information he was obtaining. He told one guy, the same guy, I can't think of his name. He's individual 1 named, or individual 2 maybe named in it. Either way, he's, you're a fool if you testify. I wouldn't be able to invoke the 5th, but you might be able to get away with it. Just really suspect looking things is what he kept saying. And if it's true, it's a big deal. Like, they've known each other for a while. Paul Manafort, Donald Trump, Roger Stone, like, they've all been tight since the 80s. It's not far-fetched to think that if Roger Stone had some info on Hillary like that, he would have immediately got up with Trump. So he's been indicted, and CNN was on the scene. They showed up in riot gear, I guess because they thought he was going to destroy evidence or something, but it's just funny to see the old white man get dragged out the house.
I think my favorite was in a video not in a video, when he was making his acknowledgement speech, like when he addressed the public after being indicted for all this. He had a very smug look on his face the whole time, but it got much more smug when the crowd, I don't really want to say audience because they weren't listening, the crowd started chanting, "Lock him up, lock him up." Yeah, it was brilliant.
Oh, that's great.
And the video that I quoted earlier with where he acted like he had gotten busted for drinking Russian vodka,
right.
Making fun of how loose the connections are.
Right.
And then now he's got some pretty hard ones. I just think for anyone on the right, I would start being a little bit more concerned about your reasonings behind voting for Trump and how much they're embedded in your dealings on social media.
Well, because you can only say, "Oh, it was innocent," so many times. Like, you can only say, "Oh, well, he didn't actually break a law." Like, okay, fair enough. The whole collusion thing, the whole obtaining information on Hillary Clinton, you're right. That isn't a law to break. The law he broke is that he lied. So why is he lying about it if he's not breaking laws? Right? So you can sit there and say, "Oh, he just lied. He just lied." Well, why? Why? Stop turning your headphones off and say why.
So if anyone's afraid that they possibly may have been influenced, and honestly this is more for the younger generation, as much as you see the evidence of Trumpism in especially older white Americans, um, the younger generation that is pro-Trump, or the younger voters that were of voting age in 2016 that did vote for Trump, looking at the reasoning that you had for voting for him, if it was maybe because you were holding a chip on your shoulder, it may be because of a Russian influenced bot on social media. I mean, you need to look
it's
yourself in the mirror and
possible.
realize that might be the case.
I
You were
still
duped. It is very, very possible that the American people were duped into voting for this man. Now,
not
that
by
being
Russian
said,
bots, by Donald Trump himself.
well,
Dude,
I think the whole point of the Mueller investigation is that we're knocking down the pins around the big one, and when it comes to Teflon Don and nothing sticking to him, you have to make sure that whatever you're going after him with sticks. Because right now he's the president of the United States. So
Yeah.
I feel like we're starting to get to the bottom of that toilet spiral with Roger Stone.
there were people that, yeah, I would agree with that to an extent. I'm not gonna sit here and say that a bunch of Russian bots are the reason that Donald Trump won the election, and I don't know that that's exactly what you're saying, but I'm not.
No, I'm saying a bunch of Russian bots may have helped a little bit though.
Right, you said chances are if you had a chip on your shoulder, it's probably because you saw something on Facebook, and that was probably.
And I also said if you're a younger voter. In other words, we're eliminating the people who have the chip on their shoulder because the party that they've been following, or the party that's pretended to actually advocate for the working class, etc. Those people have a much different reason and were probably not influenced by social media whatsoever. I'm talking about the 18 to 25 demographic that was influenced by their buddies and by echo chambers on social media. If you felt accepted by the right and the alt-right on social media, and that's why you're still championing Trump, then you need to take a long look in the mirror and realize that you may have been influenced by some people that aren't even from here.
I guess I didn't hear you say 18 to 25. The point is that you can only look at this and say, oh well, Trump didn't know. Oh well, he there's no way he knew. You can only do that so many times before everything's falling down around him. Like Roger Stone was according to Robert Mueller in direct talks with WikiLeaks. Direct talks. WikiLeaks, according to Robert Mueller, was in direct talks with Russia, where he got the emails right before he dumped them.
There's a timeline out there, and I implore anyone to go look this timeline up because it's a very good timeline, and it is accurate. You can check it. I did whenever I was looking at it. I wish we could provide the link. I'd have to really dig to provide the link on the Dead Center page, so look out for that if I can find it. But essentially, it's a timeline that shows all of the people, all of the folks around Trump, his immediate family, the people that have worked on his campaign, going all the way back to Bannon, and before that, Sessions is on it. So it's a list of all these people, and on the timeline, right, there are points, and the red points are the points where there is right now there is assumed contact, and it may be confirmed. Like for example, it'll just have like Don Jr.'s meeting is on the list, and it's like met, and then like later on the timeline on that same section of Don Jr., you'll see where he denied. So it's a timeline that shows when the meeting was or when the contact was, and then later in the timeline it'll show when it was denied, and you actually can go over the points and click them and see. So like on that whole timeline, it's really interesting to look and see when everyone was indicted or arrested, because it's starting to look like it's the ones that had the most red dots, and the blue dots I think were denial. So it's like the most red and blue dots were the ones, but the yellow dots are the supposed, they're not confirmed yet or whatever. And it's pretty crazy to look at, because I mean it's that arcade game where you're shooting down the pins, and then there's that one pin that's somehow structurally held up by the rest. You gotta knock all the rest of them down before you know.
Well, and that's kind of the way that it seems to have been unfolding over the last couple of indictments, right? You had Paul Manafort was supposed to just be going to jail for X amount of time, and then Mueller hits him with no, actually, we found out you lied about all this stuff, and relays that information, right? And then you had Papadopoulos just did his jail time, and now Roger Stone's going down. Again, it's going to, I mean, obviously he denies every single word of it.
All we're missing are tapes.
Course, right.
Really, to get at it, all we're missing are tapes. You have some kind of tapes of, and that might be, and I don't mean to play too much into conspiracy when we're already going over time, but I mean, people that like to point at the bigger conspiracy, think about how many of these cards Russia holds now. I mean, we could just say Putin holds now. Like, there is the high state conspiracy that the whole reason Russia's got some pull on Trump is that there's that PP video. We all, you know what? If you don't know what we're talking about, just Google Trump piss conspiracy or something. I'm sure that'll...
PP-gate.
PP-gate? Is that really what the...
It's a thing.
Okay, yeah, Google PP-gate, and then, you know what? Good luck.
Hopefully that's what...
So there's that possibility. There's that possibility. But then there's also, on top of that, the idea that Putin can come out and go, yeah, I helped him. Oh, yeah, no, we totally set that up.
I don't know. I just, like we were talking about Venezuela earlier, about Russia moving in to protect Maduro. Like, as tensions heighten around the world, Trump makes himself look like a fool pretty regularly. So what I can accredit to being stupid, I can also accredit to being an evil genius. I'm going to accredit it to being stupid with Donald Trump. So while, yes, you can draw lines and you can look at it and say it's possible, you can also look at it and say this guy is really dumb.
He
You know what I'm
really
saying?
could be. It really could be. Mueller could come out and go, you know what? We might want to impeach him.
He was just the sloppiest, dumbest candidate we ever had.
Well, no. It might be. It might be that he was the most ignorant candidate we've ever had. So it really could be the case where it's just like the GOP put up Trump reluctantly after a sweeping nomination bid. Mm-hmm. I mean, they clawed tooth and nail to have him not be the nomination. And now that everyone's on board, and Trump's like, but I don't know how to do this. And it's like, okay, well, we're just going to have you do it like by the seat of our pants.
Right.
And now that it's happening, I don't know. I mean, it really could be the case that Mueller just comes out and drops all this evidence that it really was everyone around him that did it so that he would win, and now they're just trying to control him.
I think that's honestly, I think it's that he honestly didn't expect to win so much that he was just doing whatever the hell he wanted to up until this point. There's reports that Melania and Karen Pence were crying after they won because they were so mad and so ready for this to be done. Like, you don't understand. Every single, like Ben Shapiro even. Ben Shapiro, he's been kind of vocally supportive of Trump. Not 100%. He's criticized him when he's been utterly stupid. But he was like, I talked to people from the White House. I know people personally from the campaign. They did not expect to win. So in my mind, because I refuse to follow echo chambers. I listen to everything. Everything that I'm gathering is this guy was ignorant. He was a loose cannon. He didn't care, didn't think he'd win. Right? And did whatever the hell he wanted.
I have a question. Didn't think he'd win the primary?
Presidency.
Well, my question is he ran for the presidency.
Correct.
At what point did he think he was not going to win? Did he think he was just going to give the GOP a ratings boost through their primaries? Because at the point where he was winning, he refused to let go. And then all of a sudden he's doing a general election and you have the grab him by the you-know-what and all that stuff coming out, and you're running against a woman. You're not supposed to win at that point. Like, you're kind of playing into all of the people that say he was a plug meant to put Hillary in charge, and what actually happened was he won, and now the ugly underbelly is supporting him.
You're overlooking way too many points when you do that about Hillary Clinton as a candidate. Right?
Well, I understand that, but why wouldn't you expect to win when that's what you're trying to do? Why would you be upset that you won to a point
I don't
of...
think I think he was bewildered. I don't think he expected to win. I don't think he was upset that he won. Are you kidding? He's a narcissist. I don't think he
Okay.
was upset. I think nobody in the camp truly expected to win. And then they did. And they were like, well, damn. Here we go. And from that point on, they moved
Then it
and
was,
acted accordingly.
oh crap, we
We
conspired with the Russians to win. Now what?
Or it was, oh crap, we did whatever the hell we wanted. We were supposed to have dealings in Moscow up until November, or September of 2016. Oh crap, we coordinated to try to get information on Hillary that we didn't report. Blah, 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 blah. People lied about things like this because we didn't think it would matter. Right? Like, why would you come out and tell something if you didn't? If you thought you were, they'll never find out. Yeah, no, I didn't do that.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. We're not gonna win anyway.
Or yeah, like no. Wait a minute, you did.
So if that's the case, though, the laws were broken. You know what I mean? Like your presidency's illegitimate.
Yeah, no,
you're
I'm
out.
not disagreeing. Not disagreeing with the facts. Not disagreeing laws broken. I'm just saying the things that I can attribute to him being dumb that I can also attribute to some freaking mastermind international plot to take over the United States via Vladimir Putin. Yeah, I'm not going with it. Like, you have to show me, like, it's got to be real hard evidence, not, oh, Roger Stone was talking to WikiLeaks before they dropped the emails. Like, okay, that's great. Where does that show me that Donald Trump was conspiring to help, where Vladimir Putin was trying to help Donald Trump, right? That's not the same thing. WikiLeaks dumping information that they got from Russia is not the same thing as Donald Trump getting help from Vladimir Putin. Like, there's different channels that you have to go through. There's different actors involved that it's too quick of it's too illogical of a conclusion to draw, in my opinion, unless I'm just missing something completely, and I don't think I am.
I really.
Now look, there are plenty of suspect. There's plenty of suspect stuff, man. I'm not gonna say there's not, and I'm not gonna say that since he's won there hasn't been some questionable things that have happened.
Well, think about it.
Like,
if you're right, this is the point I was going to read to make. If you're right, even if it's just like we did all this stuff, not thinking it would matter, and we didn't report it, not thinking it would matter, blah blah blah, etc. If you get to that point where now there's a full blown investigation into the legitimacy of your presidency, and really the biggest deal, like you said, is that you are lying about it, and that you didn't follow protocol to a point of. It may not be collusion. It may be what you're suggesting. But if that is the case, then, you're lying about it.
He should be impeached either way.
Right.
I'm not going to... disagreeing with you.
But what I'm saying is the idea that all of that could be very easily triggered with Vladimir Putin very simply and easily going, here are all the tapes. There you go. I'm Russian. I'm, ex-KGB. We recorded... Everything. Here's everything. Like, the fact that they have that card on the presidency is a big deal, because if it's
the possibility that they have that card on the presidency. The possibility that because that's what it is right now. Look, and
that's why he's playing into Russia's hands in every movie he makes on the international level.
But is he though?
No, it's like he's falsifying some of it, though. Because it's like he does it, and he backs off, and he does it, and he backs off.
He has had these same misunderstandings about trade since the 90s, right? He has had these same stupid... Look what he said about Syria 5 years ago versus what he just did in the last 2. Like, on Twitter. There's a tweet for everything, Don. Sorry. But you can look at his own statements versus what he's done now. And see a complete polar opposite. So, again, if Vladimir Putin, like, I'm not saying that I can't be proven wrong. I'm not saying that I am right even. The point that I'm making is it's not a high probability that Vladimir Putin tried to usurp United States democracy and plant Donald Trump into the Republican Party. And that's what, because that's the assumption that's been, or that's the charge that has been brought forward.
I understand, but the idea that it has the same result as the blackmail I just suggested. If you are a foreign entity and you have all the evidence you need to have the leader of a country impeached, removed from power, and you have that in your back pocket and they know it, then they'll start trying to push policy that you support. Now, they also, if you're really smart, like, I don't know, ex-KGB smart, then you might use some reverse psychology, like, how about you bomb this air site? Just let me know when you're going to do it, and I'll get everyone out of there, the important stuff out of there, and you just blow it up, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, look, they attacked us. We must not be working together. Hey, I'm going to tell you not to do something. You do it anyway, and then, like, just stay put and, like, just do stuff through Twitter, and then we'll go in and we'll fix it. That's happening right now. You could make the argument that, like, it doesn't matter either way. If he's a plug, he's a plug. If he's in their back pocket, he's in their back pocket. Either way, he needs to get the hell out of the White House.
Not in disagreement there.
I just want to know if this is going to be something where we're looking at if we look at the idea that this isn't going to come up strategically, this isn't going to come up until right before 2020's getting hot, like the end of this year, kind of 2020's getting hot, because then all of a sudden it's like, well, how about we're gonna impeach him, and then Mike Pence, you're gonna be the the next president for the half a year. Good luck campaigning on your own, because that guy's a crook. You don't want to like it has to be Mueller has to come out with stuff that the Trump supporters have to abandon him, because otherwise it's gonna get crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
It's gonna get crazy.
And here's a point I'll make. Robert Mueller has been tight-lipped about this. He has yes, and that's really good. So while I'm sitting here saying these things, he could be being tight-lipped to prove people like me wrong, and that's fine. I am totally cool with that. But right now, as it stands, the crimes are lying about non-crimes. It's just what it's just what it is. They're lying about things that aren't crimes. So, like I said before, ask yourself why they're lying, but at the same time, understand that what you can attribute to carelessness or stupidity or ignorance, if you can also attribute it to being a mastermind, with Donald Trump, I would attribute it to the former, not the latter. And that's how I read this guy. Are you kidding? He's from a city.
But what about Roger Stone?
Have you seen him on InfoWars? Good God.
No. So, total clown?
Total clown.
Okay. All right.
Total clown. Total clown.
So,
Roger Stone.
As far as his indictment goes, do you think it's something where it's just like, look, we had to arrest you because of the stuff we found in Cohen's office? Or do you think it's actually, look, we had to arrest you because you conspired with the Russians to get stuff on blah, 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 blah? What do you think it is, really?
Cohen's office stuff. I think it was I think Roger Stone is a byproduct of this investigation.
So you think, okay, because this is one thing we haven't addressed. It is also possible that Mueller is tight-lipped because so far there has been nothing as far as Russian collusion. Like, we arrested 13 entities that were here that were, like I said, They were here.
Look, there's some
doing pages on Facebook and other social media presence that would support really far extremist alt-right stuff. That has happened, and since then, since then, you haven't seen anything or heard anything that is directly, hey, you were arrested because of this exact thing that points to Russian collusion. It's always been like,
collusion's not a crime. Let's. Conspiracy is a crime. Collusion is not. So let's say that real quick.
My point is, what if it's just a whole ton of just super shady finance stuff? Like super shady, like tied to the Deutsche Bank stuff.
That's what I think it is. I'm sorry. I think that's why
Mueller's
that's why I thought he was careless. That's why I think that's why the
GOP insists that he should just finish doing his job.
Exactly. Like, come on. Like, I think that he's been doing all these shady business dealings since the 70s. He's like, oh my God, I'm gonna be a candidate for the United States of America. Think of all the money I could make. and he went with it. And he's like, what you can attribute to carelessness, con man, if you can attribute it to, I keep saying it because it's
but
the
either
only
way,
thing
you've
that
been
makes
conned.
sense. Fair enough.
Either way, you've
Fair
been
enough.
conned.
Either way, that is true. That is very true. And you should also ask why. Like, why have you allowed yourself
You bought into
to?
a brand. Come on. We can get into this later. My point is I think that this Roger Stone arrest is much more like, hey man, we see what you've been doing for the last few decades. Like, we're gonna come out with this unless you help us out with this other stuff. And either way, like, you probably should serve some time.
Yeah. you just no. Sit down, Roger Stone. All right. Well, I mean, if that's it for you, I'm Trip.
And I'm Jim.
And this is Dead Center, where we try to conversate, not consonate. And
Get to the point.
Love you. I'll see you next time.